Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Their Excellencies, the Right Honourable Dame Patsy Reddy, Governor-General of New Zealand, and Sir David Gascoigne.
Whakamanawatia te toki atu, whakamanawatia te rauorongo. Oi whiwhia. Oi whiwhia te tohu, oi rawea te tohu, oi tāmaua te tohu, taumata rautia te tohu, haumi e, hui e, tāiki e.
Kia ora tātou katoa, no mai haere mai rā ki te whare kawana. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, warm greetings to you all. Welcome to Government House. I specifically acknowledge our kaumātua, Professor Piri Shasha, and our kuia, Te Ripawai Higgins. Tēnei kōrero. It is a pleasure for us to host this investiture ceremony for 12 honour recipients in the presence of their families and friends to recognise the contributions they have made to our country. The Governor-General has the authority and privilege on behalf of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth, the Queen of New Zealand, to hold an investiture for her and to confer the honours to which each recipient is entitled. Ladies and gentlemen, as each one is honoured by the Governor-General, I invite you to join her in thanking and congratulating them for their service to our country. Mr Ward Kamor will now summon the recipients and read a citation for each one.
Thank you, Your Excellency. To receive the insignia of a Dame Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit. Emeritus Professor Dame Charmian O'Connor of Auckland, for services to education and chemistry. Emeritus Professor Dame Charmian O'Connor is internationally recognised for her contributions to chemistry and education. Dame Charmian was instrumental in establishing the independent Kate Edgar Educational Charitable Trust, KEECT. The KEET, through its academic dress hire business, is now one of the largest non-governmental funders of women's higher education in New Zealand. She chaired the trust from 2005 to 2013 and remains a trustee. She has chaired the trust's awards committee since inception, wrote the awards manual and introduced new awards as money became available. she has overseen an increase from $75,000 in awards at inception to more than $600,000 across 110 grants and research awards annually for women undertaking tertiary education. As a professor at the University of Auckland from 1986 and Emeritus Professor from 2004, she has been a member and chair of a range of the university's advisory committees and a member of fellowship selection committees. She was a member of the Manukau Institute of Technology Council and helped establish a research committee. As a ministerial representative on the Council of Unitec from 2005 to 2014, she played a key role in advancing the construction of the Harekai and Harepaku to complete Unitec's marae facilities. Dame Charmian has continued her involvement with chemistry organisations and conferences at national and international levels. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Professor Edwin Mitchell of Auckland for services to children's health. Professor Ed Mitchell was Cure Kids Professor of Child Health Research at the University of Auckland and is currently a Professorial Research Fellow. He has published more than 400 original papers, particularly on asthma and sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. He directed the New Zealand Cot Death Study and the New Zealand SIDS Prevention Study. This research is thought to have saved thousands of children's lives in the past 2 decades. He has advised a number of countries on SIDS prevention. He was president of the International Society for the Study and Prevention of Perinatal and Infant Death. Professor Mitchell has led a study of gestational age infants and was involved with a study examining factors in pregnancy influencing the risk of obesity for the child. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Peter Burling of Tauranga for services to sailing. Mr. Burling, together with Mr. Blair Tuke, won a silver medal at the 2012 London Olympics and a gold medal at the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics in the 49er class. They were the first sailors to win 4 consecutive 49er class World Championships. Mr. Burling was the 2015 World Champion in the International Moth Sailing Dinghy class. He was skipper of the winning boat in the 2013 Red Bull Youth America's Cup and has been named helmsman for Emirates Team New Zealand's 2017 America's Cup campaign. At 17, he was the youngest sailor to represent New Zealand at the Olympics and the youngest sailing competitor at the 2008 Games. Ms. Catherine Chappell of Auckland for services to contemporary dance. As the founder and artistic director of Touch Compass, New Zealand's first inclusive dance company, Catherine Chappell has provided career pathways for disabled artists and enabled them to have significant careers both nationally and internationally. She researched and developed aerial bungee dance in New Zealand for performers with and without a disability. She was an instigator and choreographer for a series of dance box short films that highlighted profound, life-changing moments in people's lives. Ms. Chappell taught contemporary dance for more than a decade for the Bachelor of Performing and Screen Arts, Unitec, and developed a comprehensive contact improvisation training program. Ms. Hilary King of Auckland for services to special education. Hilary King began her career in special education at Auckland's Arohanui Special School. She was part of the Ministry of Education's Psychopedic Initiative, which provided education for students who had been institutionalised for years and were now only taking part in school life. She has since contributed to special education at various schools and as an independent consultant. She has presented workshops throughout New Zealand and internationally, written original songs for programs she has created, and provided resources for teachers. She produced the annual Auckland Special Education Concert for many years. Ms. King has championed the use of smartboards and sensory rooms in special needs schools in New Zealand. Ms. Wendy Preston of Auckland for services to performing arts and youth. Wendy Preston was a dancer and teacher with the Limbs Dance Company. She has worked for decades as an arts educator through dance and theatre with an extensive range of the community, including Māori and Pasifika rangatahi. She was a founding director of the Unitec School of Performing and Screen Arts and TAPAC, the Auckland Performing Arts Centre. She is co-founder and director of Mixit, a community development initiative using creativity to support the life skills and social integration of refugee and migrant youth in Auckland. Mixit is an established non-profit charitable trust, and Ms. Preston has published a book on the Foundation's values and history of the project. Mr. Blair Tuke of Auckland for services to sailing. Mr. Tuke, together with Mr. Peter Burling, won a silver medal at the 2012 London Olympics and a gold medal at the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics. They are the first sailors to win 4 consecutive 49er class World Championships. For the 4 years between the London and Rio Olympics, they were unbeaten in major regattas in the 49er class, winning a total of 28 regattas. Mr. Tuke also won gold in the 2009 World Champions in the 29er class and has achieved silver and bronze medal placings in other international events. He has been named a member of the Emirates Team New Zealand 2017 America's Cup campaign. Mr. Jonathan Wilkinson of Whangarei for services to people with disabilities. Johnny Wilkinson founded and is CEO of the Te Aho Trust, a disabled-led organisation that services Northland's disabled community. He established the Northland Disability Information and Advisory Services Collective. He brokered an agreement between Mid-North Shuttle Services, Te Aho Trust and the Ministry of Education to transport disabled children to and from school. He established Dovetail Tourism to encourage people with disabilities to experience tourist attractions in Northland. He has held a range of governance roles and is currently Deputy Chair of the Disability Advisory Group for Whangarei District Council and Deputy Chair of Auckland Trust Board. Mr. Wilkinson was part of the Working Party for reviewing New Zealand's disability strategy. Your Excellency, to receive the Queen's Service Medal. Mr. Roger Cox of Hamilton for services to science education. Roger Cox was a long-serving member of Fairfield College in Hamilton, where he was head of science. He has been an active member of the Waikato Science Teachers Association, including time as chairperson. He is a member of the Animal Ethics Committee of the New Zealand Association of Science Educators and of the Hamilton Science Awards Trust. He helped organise and run the Waikato Regional Science Fair event for 30 years. More recently, Mr. Cox helped establish the Kuku Tāruhe Education Trust, which aims to develop a unique facility focused on ecological and environmental education and sustainability. Mr. Peter Crawford of Whangarei for services to the community and sport. Peter Crawford co-founded the Whangarei Twilight Cricket Competition, one of the largest competitions in New Zealand. He then helped found the Northern Charitable Cricket Trust. He served time as Secretary, President, Honorary Auditor and Referee Assessor for the Whangarei Rugby Referees Association. He was a member of the working group set up by the Whangarei Catholic Homes Trust to oversee the Marion Heights Residential Village and has served on the Residents Committee for 28 years. Mr. Crawford has contributed to the Northern Club, St Vincent de Paul Society, Whangarei Jazz Society, Kensington Bowling Club, Maris Club and Northern Community Foundation. Mrs. Irene Curnow of Tauranga for services to Māori and education. Hiriwa Curnow was a teacher and head of Māori language studies at Otu Moitai College. She was the first Māori member of the college's Board of Trustees. She was a member of a panel for the Ministry of Education and the New Zealand Qualifications Authority promoting te reo Māori and tikanga Māori in schools. She is involved with the Tauranga Teen Parenting Unit and has produced kapahaka cloaks and tukutuku panels for Tauranga Girls College. She has been a judge of the Manu Kōrero speech competition and regional kapahaka. Mrs. Curnow is a member of the Kitaraki Trust Board. Dr. Carolyn Peters of Whangarei for services to the community. Dr. Carol Peters has helped establish 155 Community House, which offers a range of services from a law centre to crisis social support. She was involved in the establishment of Te Tokerau Emergency Housing Charitable Trust and was an advisor. She managed Te Tokerau Community Law, helped establish the O Tangarei Youth Project, and was Treasurer of Northern Urban Rural Mission. She helped establish Channel North TV and was a trustee and chair. She was chair of the Regional Television Broadcasters Association of New Zealand. Dr. Peters established Northern Food Rescue, which provided 9,000 meals to families in its first 6 months. Mr. Tan Tran of Auckland for services to philanthropy and Asian communities. Tan Tran is a businessman, chairman of the New Zealand Del Junang Association and former chairman of the New Zealand Chaozhou Association. He purchased 10 acres of land in Bombay Hill for the construction of a Buddhist temple and donated money towards the construction of the Mengleng Temple, serving as deputy chairman of the temple's trust. He has donated significant funds to the Starship Foundation and organised fundraising events for the Children's Hospital. Mr. Tran has donated to the Christchurch Earthquake Relief Fund and to flood relief funds in Vietnam and China. Your Excellency, the investiture is concluded.
An investiture ceremony is the most important event the Governor-General holds on behalf of Her Majesty, the Queen of New Zealand. It allows the Governor-General to recognise and thank an extraordinary group of people on behalf of all New Zealanders. By using their talents to make ours a better society, whether by service to their communities, or by their leadership in diverse fields of endeavour, or their commitment to excellence in their field of expertise, our recipients have set a fine example to others, encouraging them in their own endeavours. To the recipients, it has been a privilege for us all to hear your stories and appreciate the qualities that have enabled you to serve others, achieve success, or make an outstanding contribution in your own field. In your own way, each of you has helped to make New Zealand a better place to live. In some cases, your influence and the positive impact of your work has extended beyond our shores. Your actions and the stories we have heard reflect the spirit of the words of Nelson Mandela, who said, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." Your contribution has enriched the cultural, social and economic fabric of Aotearoa, New Zealand. Please wear your insignia with pride, knowing that your communities appreciate and value the impact of your work and are inspired by your example. On behalf of the Queen of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, the Governor-General congratulates you on your achievements and thanks you for your service to your country. Kia ora tātou katoa. Ladies and gentlemen, before we conclude the formal part of today's ceremony, I invite you to stand and sing our national anthem in Māori and in English.
Hear our voices we entreat.